this is how to revise for French GCSE if you're starting it in year 10 or if you're going into year 11. I got an 8, and all through year 10 and year 11 I was on 5s and 6s. I actually got a 3 in the writing in year 10, and I thought I was going to get a 5 in the extra exam, and I got an 8. So I think that what I did for the real exam helped me a lot more than what I did for my mocks. My biggest piece of advice, especially if you're going into year 10, but also if you're going to year 11, is vocab. So much vocab, which is something I didn't do, and I really regret not doing from the very beginning, or even from the beginning of year 11. This is the specification for AQA, all of the words. It was a little bit different for 2023 exams because we got told that every single word in the GCSE will only be from the spec. But still, to everyone doing their GCSEs next year or the year after, it will still be mainly these words. Our school wanted us to every week learn 20, but I never learned them. So if your school does that, make sure you learn them. If not, take matters into your own hands and learn some vocab. I cannot stress it enough. If you know as many words as possible, you'll be able to read the stuff, you'll be able to answer the stuff. It will help your writing, everything. So massive thing is learn vocab. That is for them all: writing, reading, listening. Oh my god, what's the other one? Writing, reading, listening. Speaking. Okay, next, speaking in particular, but I think this also helps your writing. So for each theme, making a Quizlet set with answers and questions really helped me. I memorised practically all of these for each 3 themes, and I would actively practice with my mum all the time. And then once you memorise these, you're able to just write them out if you can learn how to write them correctly. So it also really helps your speaking. So from the very beginning of year 11, or in year 10, because I started at the end of year 10, learn your speaking like the back of your hand. Another tip for speaking is don't try say loads and really high level. Less but perfect with little high level phrases. And if you do it consistently but slowly, they're not that hard to learn because it just becomes like memory saying them. But try not to sound like a robot, like switch up a little bit. So that's my tips for speaking, and also bit writing, because you can just write out your speaking sentences. But another tip for writing is these YouTube videos, which I'm going to show you, and then writing out what it tells you. These videos by Madame Charman and also French with James give you little anagrams and examples, and I wrote those out and I learnt some high-level phrases. This was my French writing little thing. So I memorised these like high-level personal opinion, sentence starters, contrasts, idioms. Idioms are very important. And then sentences for each theme, and I rewrote my tenses. For writing, it can be quite basic. As long as you've got your tenses perfected, you include idioms, opinions, high-level things, and some high-level phrases, you can get really high marks, especially in the 90 words. I then copied out the YouTube video's example one, and I memorised some of the stuff I highlighted in green that she put on, which was really high level. And then I practiced a question or 2 questions or 3 questions on every theme, and then not much can come up, so you already had it written down what you want to say, what you want to write. For the translations, practicing, and also so getting like a booklet with loads of translations on will help, and also the vocab I mentioned earlier. So I was okay at all of that, but what really stuck me was the reading and listening, because I found it so hard. As stupid as it sounds, the biggest thing I can say to that is so much practice. This is one of the tiniest booklets I did, but our teacher gave us booklets about this thick with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reading questions and listening questions, and I did every single one. And it took me so long, so many weeks to finish them. And I didn't want to do them because I thought, how is this helping me? Because I'm still making mistakes, because I still find it super hard. But it must have helped, because the grades I jumped from my mocks when I never practiced for my mocks. And then my actual GCSE, where I spent so many times just doing so many past papers and so many question booklets, it must have helped. I know a lot of people, including myself, find it really, really difficult on how to revise for French, because it just isn't as straightforward as all the other subjects where you learn the topic and do questions. But it technically is, and I never realised that. As long as you practice your vocab as much as possible, learn your speaking, go over how to write, and then practice reading and listening, you'll get a much higher grade than you expect.